Welcome to this week's interview. We do have owner, manager, coach, decision maker for the Indigenous Peoples. This is Jonathan. Today's show is not sponsored by Subway. Subway, eat fresh. Jonathan, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Anytime. So we're just gonna kind of hop into it today. Your team right now is 6-5, fifth overall. You're what, third place in the West? Second place in the West.
Thank you.
But the West is arguably very weak.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah,
pretty bad. Pretty bad. It seems like me and the rest of the good teams got put in the East. You and Joel got the easy ride in the West. So, what do you... I don't want to say what's attributed to your success, because a lot of coaches are going to look at a 6-5 record and not necessarily call that a success. But it does seem as though you're going to make the playoffs and you're going to move on. We do have a lot of season left, right? But what do you attribute to the way your team has performed so far, however you see that?
So we started off rough, to say the least. We started off 2-4. We have won whatever number of our past 5. What is that? 6-5, 2-4 of our last 5, right? And we've won in pretty solid fashion. I mean, I'm proud of the guys and the way they've turned things around. We've done a lot of roster movement. To say a lot, I'm understating it. There's been a lot going on. Last week, I had 5 guys on the IL. That is including Wander Franco, Tim Anderson, Jeremy Pena, and Jacob deGrom, who was my 5th overall pick and has been out all year long. But now that I got those guys back, we're feeling good. Right now, we got 210 points, and it's Thursday. There's a few teams out there, I'm not going to name names, who can't even get 210 points in a week. So we're feeling good about where we're at. We're putting together some good performances. The pitchers are coming together. That was still a little sketchy early on. We didn't really have the pitching. My batters are going crazy. I picked up a guy. Oh boy, what was it? 2 weeks ago. I think this is about probably the man for our success, Brendan Rodgers. My guy has been on fire recently. He's put up a ton of points, and I'm just happy to have him. We're happy to have him around, and we're glad he's slotted in to the team. But it's really been a team effort.
Mm-hmm. Well, so speaking of injuries, I know I've had a lot of IL issues. You've had a lot of IL issues. There's a couple other teams that have had a lot of IL issues. But then there's some teams that have had none, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know Joel's had some injuries, but probably not to the extent that you and I have. I have some weeks where I got 5-6 guys on the IL. And you kind of get to that point where it's like I could drop them, but it's not going to help me pick anybody else up, really. And then they also are big point guys, right? You said Tim Anderson,
Wander Franco, Jeremy Pena, Jacob deGrom.
Like, those guys are going to produce, right? And so you kind of have to look at it in a way of, is it worth waiting 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes a month, month and a half to be able to get those points? But that's also 4 or 5 games, right?
Right.
So how do you weigh whether you're going to hold on to them or if it's just something that you have to give up?
I usually look at the free agent market and I say, all right, is there a guy who right now is going to be worth what this guy's worth when he comes back in 2 weeks? And if there's not, I keep the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a Tim Anderson, Wander Franco, no. That's an easy answer, no. Even Jeremy Pena, he's been solid for the Astros this year. And really, there hasn't been anybody in the free agent market. I'm sure you've been scouring it. Everybody's kind of, it's that time of the year where everybody who has shown what they're worth and has been picked up. Any guy who's floating out there is, a good plug and play guy. I had issues at shortstop, so I picked up some guys that fit in for a week or two, and then once my guys came back, they got dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Even with pitchers, it's okay, is this guy pitching well right now? All right, I'll pick him up, and then he doesn't do well. we are all familiar with. But there's been a few guys recently that I've picked up, especially pitchers that are going to stick around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you and I actually had a conversation last week where you had sent me a list of, the top performers throughout the week. And you said, hey, there's actually two or three free agents that actually would have been on that list.
Yeah.
Right.
I picked them both up.
So there are still some hidden gems out there, but honestly, it's at the point with the free agent market where you're rolling dice. Know,
yeah,
you could hit double sixes. You could also get a 1 in a 3. You don't know. You know.
The biggest thing is to just keep your eye on that waiver wire. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say it now that he's already been picked up and placed on my team. I don't know who it was, but he dropped Nathan Eovaldi, who's on the 15-day IL, and he's about to come back. Mm-hmm. So I picked up Nathan Eovaldi. Even though he's hurt, I know when he comes back, he's putting up solid numbers. Right. So you just got to constantly check that waiver wire and see who's available, really.
Well, and that's something I've heard from the teams that are being successful is that they're paying attention, right? And that's the number one thing is, even if it's once a week, right? Just checking that waiver wire, checking the free agency. That Wednesday, Thursday day where you're like, man, I'm down by 20 points. I need to have a big day. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody I can pick up? And is there anybody who's not producing on my team right now that I'm okay letting go? Because it's also a very streaky time of the year for a lot of players. But what's your plan going forward, right? We're coming up pretty much to the middle of the season as far as fantasy goes. And we're kind of at that turning point where teams like you that are sitting at 6-5, even 7-4, they really have to turn something on and really got to win some games to set themselves up for success and the easiest route in the playoffs, right? So what's your plan to do that going forward?
I am at a spot where everything's about to turn the corner, right? So we're playing really, really well. And I'm about to get Eovaldi back. I'm about to get Drew Rasmussen back, who was very, very good until he went to the IL. And around the All-Star break, I'm getting Jacob deGrom back. Hmm. So this is the time where I just sit and I'm patient, right? Maybe someone drops someone I can pick up. But we are patiently waiting for these three guys to come back in the next 2 weeks. And then after that, I think we go on a streak. We're going streaking.
Right. So we're not necessarily in freak out mode yet, right? We're just
I was never in freak out mode.
Oh boy.
Hey, listen, we have seen from past seasons 3-time champion.
Oh, here we
go. My worst finish is 4th place, and that was once in 6 years. I am very, very comfortable with where we're at as a team and where I am as manager.
Okay. Fair enough. That decision making, that's something you got to be confident in, right?
Yep.
So now that we got that out of the way, we got some fun questions for you. I guess the first one we're gonna touch on is what do you see as your most controversial baseball opinion?
Controversial baseball opinion. Oh boy. I don't know how many controversial opinions I have. I guess the DH rule. The NL should still have pitchers hitting.
I agree with that.
That would be controversial in today's society, I do believe.
Well, if you watch the interview with Rookie of the Year, he said he thinks that there should be a DH in both leagues. So I would count that as controversial. Okay. Personally, I think the pitcher should hit in the NL. I think that's just baseball, right?
Correct.
It's America's pastime. It's not America's future time. It's a pastime. And I think that there are some old school things that just need to stay. I think that's one of them.
Correct.
So,
I think I probably have one or two others. I guess I agree with Manfred that there should be 2 teams added. 11 teams in the NL, 11 teams in the AL. And I like the playoff system right now with 3 wildcard teams.
Okay. I can agree with that. Where do you think the new team should be?
I like Charlotte.
Okay. I've heard Nashville.
Add them to the AL East.
I know a lot of people are on the Nashville train
Yep.
as well.
I'm not big on Nashville. I just don't like Nashville. Sorry. Sorry, all those in Nashville. They stole our soccer colors.
That's
if
fair.
you know, you know.
That's fair.
And then I think San Antonio. Texas is a big state. California has 1, 2, 3, 4 teams. Texas has 2.
Mm-hmm.
San
Well,
Antonio.
but what do you think about the Athletics moving potentially as well?
Vegas.
Yeah. You think that's going to happen?
Absolutely.
That's the way it's looking, huh? Least favorite stadium. I know I've asked everybody this, but this is
Period?
just something I find very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so I love Camden Yards,
Mm-hmm.
right? But I was there, 2, 3 weeks ago? That field is stupid now. That wall sucks. But it is not my least favorite stadium.
Okay.
A lot of people hate Tropicana. I don't know what it's called now. I call it Tropicana.
Yeah, it's,
So,
you know.
I love it. I think it's awesome. Oh, boy, let's see.
See, I think the Marlins.
I like the Marlins field.
I'm
They've
not a
changed
fan.
it a lot.
Not a fan.
They got rid of the stupid lime green walls,
That's true.
and they got rid of the statue in the outfield, and it looks a lot better. I think. I like the Coliseum, too.
Yeah. I feel like the Coliseum is a favorite stadium when it comes to charm, rather than actually being a good stadium.
Oh boy. Toronto.
Toronto.
I gotta go Toronto. I think it's boring.
That's
Really,
fair.
really. The hotel in the outfield is cool, but like if you're trying to sleep, I feel like it's useless.
Yeah,
right?
but if you're renting it out, I mean, you're there because it's, Toronto. I mean, come on.
I think Toronto is just a stupid field.
All right, last question. We're going to end it here. This is your chance to talk your smack. What do you got to say to the rest of the league?
Real G's move in silence like lasagna, so I will not be talking any smack today.
That is not allowed.
But Joel, coming for you this week, buddy.
Ooh. What's your schedule look like going forward, actually?
Oh, it sucks. It looks terrible. So this is why we are not talking any smack today. Let's take a look at this schedule. I have the Redskins next week, which
That should be easy win.
let's be honest.
Should be a dub.
Then I got Ronald Reagan.
Okay, top team. Number 1.
I got Rookie of the Year.
He's been killing it the past couple weeks. Tied for
Lion
second.
Lover.
Third place in the East.
Williamsburg, so
Yeah,
easy dubs.
easy dubs.
You.
Could be an easy
we
dub.
were looking at things. And in the 6 years of this league, I have never lost to you.
It's always been close
10-0.
though. Well,
A fresh 10-0.
generally it's been pretty close.
Then I have Ronald Reagan again and Rookie of the Year again.
Okay, so that's 3 dubs guaranteed, or should be, and then the rest of those that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna
be
tough.
very tough going forward. Well, sir, thank you for joining me. Thank you for doing the interview. I appreciate you. I hope to have you back soon.
Absolutely.
We have a couple teams to get through, and then we're going to come back around to everybody again. Hopefully you got some more smack to talk next time we meet.
We'll see how things go. Things are going well.
Talk our smack. Anything to say before you go?
I just want folks to be aware. That's
Okay.
all. Just be aware.
Just keep an eye. Keep an eye
keep an
out.
eye.
All right, sir. Well, we're going to end it here. Best of luck to you going forward, except for the Angel Hernandez game. I hope you have 37 people on the IL when that game
Easy
comes
ups.
around. And, I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.